I hope we get a good reaction from Anna in the next chapter, as also maybe her and Nasiens having a proper talk, because we haven't seen both of them interact properly. That is actually kind of a true statement, because outside of the reunion and getting into the cauldron and just talking about some random stuff in between when it comes to just strategizing, they haven't had a proper conversation by themselves. There was kind of one, but Gawain was involved in a bonus chapter in volume 21, I believe volume 20. In a bonus chapter that hasn't been translated, so we haven't really seen much of an actual full conversation between the two of them, because with this chapter, I feel like the two of them are definitely going to have a one-on-one conversation with what happened and kind of be 100% honest with each other, because this is something that has kind of been in the background we've all wanted to see for a little bit. I love that King got another person in his life that can give him a heart attack. Not just Bon, his thieving brother-in-law, but also a poison-addicted child. I find that hilarious, because King legitimately is probably the most anxious person out of the Sins at this point. He has not only, I guess now, 8 kids that he has to look after, but one of them, Nasiens, is literally addicted to poisons and just testing all this stuff out. It is hilarious, especially with this chapter showcasing how he was like looking after Nasiens, and just the instant they were about to eat a literal berry that could have put them in an unending coma is hilarious. Just seeing King all high-strung about this is honestly something I really enjoy. Also, I keep forgetting that Bon and King are in-laws at this point, so yeah, Bon's antics will definitely give him stress, like when they were in the 7 Deadly Sins. To be honest, we all knew Nasiens was going to be a girl, and it was explicitly explained by Nasiens' sister, Diodora, about how things work with fairies falling in love, and how that dictates, what gender they have. And shippers, it's not that shippers need to chill and enjoy the story. I kind of agree to this. Honestly, I just feel like Nakaba wanted to just do something to add a bit of extra drama and lore for fairies in this world, considering with how things have been going with Nasiens. I've said this verbatim a couple of times, that with this type of setup, it just felt like he was kind of like dragging out a bit too much, like extra drama or whatever. Because I feel like if that was going to be the case with Nasiens, End of the Fairy Realm with Percival coming back would have definitely been the case. But with how things have been going right now, and especially after this chapter, I'm alright with how things turned out, and this does make things a bit interesting to see how we'll move it forward when it comes to Nasiens and how they're treated by the rest of the cast once it's revealed that Nasiens is a girl. What I want to see is how Lancelot will react to finding out Nasiens is his cousin, and how Percival kissed his cousin. First off, about Nasiens being Lancelot's cousin, it would not surprise me if Lancelot had an idea of what was going on. I mean, Lancelot can read minds. There's always the possibility that he knew something was off with Nasiens to begin with, but I feel like if he heard this from Nasiens, he'd be like, I figured it'd be something like that. And after hearing Percival kiss Nasiens, he'd probably act like an overprotective brother at that point. Or not. Who knows? Lancelot's kind of chill like that. Then again, we also have to see how Lancelot has changed over the course of the time skip, because we still have not seen him yet. Nasiens got a huge power up this chapter. Now she can replicate a poison that Percy nor Tristan can cure. Only true love and a kiss can cure it. Yeah, here's something that I feel like everybody kind of needs to fully understand when it comes to what happened in the previous chapters. The poison that Nasiens used was put into Diodora's body. That was the poison that Nasiens used. Nasiens was not immune to the poison because Nasiens did not properly ingest it. What happened was that the effects of the poison were transferred to Nasiens, but the actual poison was not in Nasiens' system. Primarily because it would be too dangerous for Nasiens to take that poison, and Nasiens would literally, right now, be put into a comatose state, and chances are Nasiens' magic would not be able to make an antidote for it in that instance. And even then, there's no antidote for it to begin with, and while Nasiens' ability would have made an antidote, with how it was transferred to Nasiens, it kind of cancels out, so there's no real antidote to the poison at that point. So yeah, I just feel like that's a bit of confusion. Diodora just rebounds the after effects and damage of stuff that seems to be killing intent, and Nasiens just got hit with the effect of the poison, and since Nasiens had no real resistance to the poison, Nasiens was knocked out. And I believe that technicality and loophole would kind of bypass the conditions for Nasiens getting immune to that. So, yeah. But hey, I could be wrong for all we know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong and I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I feel like it'd make more sense if Nasiens wasn't immune to it at this point. I wonder if Diodora's magic ability works like that the Ten Commandments. If you hold any ill will towards him, kind of the reverse of Percival's hope power, the damage reflects. Then again, the kid who snapped his neck seemed devastated, but they did want to replace him. I don't know, just on the John laughing face. I know what you're getting with in terms of like maybe the commandment of love from Estarossa, but that was more so like paralyzing people that had hatred in their hearts, and also Grey Road's commandment that literally took the time of a person who committed murder in front of them. But when it comes to Diodora's power, while it is kind of the reverse of Percival based on how it works, we still don't know fully how everything kind of works. For all we know, it's just killing intent. And with what happened with Rufus, yeah, he was upset about it and devastated because he did view Diodora as a younger brother. He was literally doing this with the intent to kill him. So obviously that's how the power awakened, and the snapped neck and death just transferred over to him. So yeah, that's kind of how that works from what we can tell. I'm gonna say she wasn't affected by the kiss just to get crushed by her own magic again. That would be perfect tension for comedy relief in that instance. I feel like if the two of them, if Anna and Nasiens, maybe with Gawain hovering over, just kind of egging her on, like gets her to tell a lie that she wasn't kind of bugged by the kiss, I feel like it'd be hilarious. Because literally we had that back in the Demon Realm arc when Anna was figuring out her abilities in the first place. So I would not be surprised for just some comedic effect, for just take down the tension from everything that happened with the previous chapters leading into Percival's fights. I just feel like it'd be perfect. 100%. I would love to see that. Tiore's ship's senses just started to tingle after that kiss. 100%. Tiore probably is going to be over the moon if she ever finds this out. She was very invested in Nasiens' love life before she knew they were related. So yeah, that would be hilarious. And she will try and set those two up on a date, like, no matter what. I highly, highly guarantee it. She takes way too much after Deanne. So far, I think Percival is one of the few characters left that can beat Diodora. From what I can see, despair seems to only affect damage with emotion behind it. Well, it's possible Percival could enter the state he was in when he fought Tristan, taking away emotions and turning him into an engine of death, sucking the life out of Diodora. I think I do understand. You mean the fan titled Despair Mode that Percival entered during the Leonis arc when he thought his friends were dead when Xion tried to, kill him and framing him for being a Chaos Knight. That would be interesting, but at the same time, there's no guarantee that the magic wouldn't rebound on Percival before he died. And not only that, Percival seems to have more control over that ability, so it wouldn't be a berserker state in that instance. So I feel like the best Percival will try and do is separate Diodora's soul from his body, but like Percival said, if Diodora in that instance now has more of a strong will to live right now, that won't gradually affect Diodora in that instance. And since Diodora can seemingly, when he can basically absorb people's magic abilities, I don't know if that'll be the case. But either way, I do like like I said previously when it comes to killing intent, I do like the added idea that it has to have actual emotion behind it. Anger, jealousy, etc. I feel like that would be a perfect way to add an additional condition to Diodora's ability. But yeah, Percival being the only real person to really do anything to Diodora, 100%. They're polar opposites at this point, and it's been set up, and it's gonna happen. Percival Nasiens is such a good ship, but damn, I wish it didn't come at Ann's expense. Yes, I kind of agree. Heck, who knows? If Nakba does decide to go with Percival x Nasiens, Ann can be with Boris for all we care. Or Donnie. I don't see Donnie. It'd be hilarious if it was with Boris, or if she was just single. I don't know. But either way, the ship is what it is. We still have no way of finding out what's going to happen. Heck, for all we know, Percival might get the harem ending and get both girls, for all we know. But yeah, it all just depends what happens. Do you think Nakaba destroyed Nasien's outfit to give them a more feminine one in the next few chapters? Actually, that would not surprise me if Nakaba was following through with what he's doing with Nasiens. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just an excuse to give a brand new outfit and character design for Nasiens at this point. It's incredibly possible. So, yeah, we'll keep that in the back burner for now. Hey, Greek Weeb, reading this chapter reminded me of a thought I had about Percival's healing ability. I did wonder if Percy can cure someone of poison or illness. I mean, every time he healed someone, it was only for normal injuries like a cut or broken bones. And Tristan once said he doesn't have the skills yet to heal people of poisons or illness, unlike his mother. If if someone was poisoned, it was Nasiens who cured them. So I wonder if chapter kind of proves that maybe Percival can heal people who are ill or poisoned. Also, Nasien's poison resistance strong enough to handle or resist 2 different poisons being used at once, or if 2 poisons mixed together to create a new poison that did exist before. As of right now, Percival just can't heal illnesses or poisons, because that seems to be relatively unnatural. If someone is like killed, if their spirit is separated, or if they're like on the verge of death, Percival can bring them back and heal them 100%. Tristan, fully confirmed, cannot stop illnesses or poisons, unlike Elizabeth, though I believe there are some limits to it. And in regards to Nasien's poisons, I do have to say Nasiens is being able to combine different poisons to make something new has been done multiple times. That is part of Nasien's ability. So, yeah, Nasiens can mix multiple types of poisons as long as Nasiens has ingested them and created antibodies for them in medicines. So, yeah, that is definitely the case. Though, being able to take multiple poisons at the same time, I am not sure, but that might be the case. What a great chapter. 1. I like we're getting teased for Percival versus Diodora in the future. 2. We can respect Gowther for coming in clutch as always. 3. Nasiens finally got her wish. Can't wait to see what happens in the next chapter. 100% agree, this chapter was great for teasing the fight that is going to happen in the next... I'm giving it, like, within the next 5 to 6 chapters is when the start of that fight is going to occur. I love that Gowther keeps coming in clutch in almost every instance. Whenever they're involved in an arc, they somehow save everyone's asses and comes up with, like, quick thinking. Gowther has been well utilized throughout the entirety of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, and... honestly, I could not think of a better character to Nakaba use to assist the main cast on such a regular basis for not only to make sense, but also to just be an absolute joy to read. And once again, Gowther is literally fucking with the guy that cut off an arm and a leg from him by hiding in plain sight and messing with his memories. So, put that all together, Gowther is great. Yeah, Nasiens got their wish, kind of, but we still gotta see. Nasiens has got to be honest with Percival at this point with how they feel about the guy. But either way, another great chapter, I'm glad. At some point during the Fairy King's Forest arc, you said that you was going to make a video talking about the role of 4 Perils and their future in the story, so do you still have plans for it? You mentioned that you have a bingo card on what you think would become true, so what's the results of the bingo card so far? First one, about the 4 Perils video, I'm putting that off for a while, because after everything that happened with Ironside and Pelgard, I want to wait a bit to potentially see how things go with them, and right now we're dealing with Beltrup at the moment, so... I'm probably going to wait till this arc ends before making a full video on the 4 Perils individually as a base concept video, so I'm going to wait on that one. In terms of the bingo card, yeah, we barely got anything off that bingo card. It's also been a pain in the neck to like keep looking at it. I was planning on doing a second bingo card for 2025 just for the hell of it, but we barely got anything for the first one. And I didn't feel like making a new one at this point, sorry, but yeah, that kind of failed. Either way, bingo card was just, wasn't really good at that point. I might be in the minority here, but I was kind of hoping Nasiens would choose to be male, but still have feelings for Percival. I was just hoping for like a gay relationship in an action manga. Still a good chapter. Here's where there is some confusion on the Nasiens gender thing. Since Nasiens is a group of fairy that is literally has no gender until they fall in love with somebody, their gender literally initiates depending on who they fall in love with. You fall in love with a guy, you turn into a girl. If you fall in love with a boy, you become a girl. If you fall in love with a girl, you become a guy. That's how fairy biology works in this universe. So Nasiens has no choice in the matter, which is why Nakaba has been drawing Nasiens more and more feminine ever since the Fairy Realm arc up until this point, and basically showcases it with Nasiens' soul seemingly and how they're being drawn. So there's no choice involved. I get what you mean. The ship would have been good either way, but we still got Gawain if you want to get a relatively gay relationship in the future if Gawain finds somebody. So if that's what you want, hey, we got Gawain. But yeah, that just seems to be how things are going right now. I just hope things get solidified by the time this arc ends, or we actually get some more confirmations for some things. But either way, it is what it is, and I'm enjoying the series regardless of the fact. So we'll just see how things go. But yeah, those were the comments of the week. Sorry the last 2 weeks I didn't make any of these videos. I've had a lot going on, and I didn't have enough time to do the previous one because I had a few issues with my recording device, but I got that all figured out for this one, so hey, that works. But either way, how did you guys enjoy this video? Do you have any more thoughts on the chapter right now, and what do you think is going to happen in the next chapter going forward? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and once more, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. I do plan to probably make more than just these comments videos between chapters, but I gotta see, because those more detailed oriented videos would take a lot longer and I got a lot of stuff to make for the channel and my secondary channel, so we'll see what happens with that. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you all have an awesome day.